My name is Caitlin Hegney and I'm a jewellery artist based in Helensburgh on the west coast of Scotland, about an hour from Glasgow. I am lucky enough to be designing and making from my home studio at the bottom of my garden. When I'm sitting at my bench, I'm looking out of the window into my garden and I'm able to observe nature's rhythms and watch the seasons change as I'm working. I create handmade jewellery from precious metal and wood that resonates with our ancient heritage. So the story behind my collection stems from my interest in our ancient history. The collection that I've made for Shine 2020 I've called Ditto because it's exploring the connections that we have in the present to our past. I've focused particularly on rhythmic markings that have transcended generations. I think I'm drawn to them because of their ambiguity, all the things that we don't know about them. So why these markings are here, who left them behind, and what they mean. I'm fascinated by this ambiguity and I almost visualise it as a language that's transcended the generations from our ancestors right through to the present day. The sort of sources that I've looked at to research these markings have been through studying ancient hoards and looking to old artefacts and also stone carvings that are still traces that are left behind to this day. So my practice moves between 2D and 3D. I always start off by drawing, working on paper with pigment, pencils and pens. I then start to move my drawings into the 3 dimensions by working with ancient craft techniques into wood and into precious metal. The techniques that I use themselves are very rhythmic and are very meditative to complete. I create hand-forged tools that replicate the markings that I make in 2D on paper. I'm inspired and take elements from a traditional technique called chasing to use these tools to emboss pattern into the surface of precious metals. I also build up pattern by forging wire, and the reason I use this process is because it's quite expressive, which helps me capture that quality of my initial drawings in 2D. I also hand mix pigments to dye the wooden elements of my work a rich and alluring tones of blue. The colour blue has been a part of my work for many years now. I'm really drawn to the colour, but I'm also really fascinated by its rich history. I think the thing that really captured my interest about it was learning about how the colour itself as a pigment was once more expensive to buy in history than its value in weight in gold. So I make my handmade pigments and I apply that to wooden surfaces to almost give this non-precious material some sort of value and elevate it to the same sort of level as the precious metals that I use within my wearable jewellery pieces. I would have to say that my favourite piece from this collection is the silver on blue parenthesis brooch. This piece is made out of repurposed wood, which I have dyed using my hand mixed pigment recipes to a blue colour. The surface is also covered with forged silver lines, and I like to use this technique because it's nice and expressive, so it really captures every little unique moment that the tools had with the metal. These elements have then been riveted into the surface of the wood, and I like this because it's left a little trace of a pattern on the reverse side of the brooch that the wearer can see when they're putting it on. The most challenging piece from this collection for me, I think, would be the Ovid cadence brooch. Each line for this piece has been individually forged and soldered into place. So it was a real challenge for me learning how much I could push heat when soldering to make all the elements stay together but without overheating and melting another part of the brooch. However, it has been really rewarding to put together, especially when you see it on the body and the light catches the edges of the silver as the wearer is moving. The best qualities about my work is that it is easy to wear. My designs give the illusion of volume and weight, but the metal elements are hollow. The wooden elements are also very lightweight, which makes my designs very comfortable to wear. Another quality about my work is that it puts the wearer in touch with their primordial selves. My jewellery has a very classic look about it. It looks as if it should almost belong to an ancient hoard, but it resonates with the contemporary wearer. It remains modern for wearing today.